Sunday morning walk. This is September 2006. We try to walk our neighborhood every weekend. Here we're waiting for our walk. But first, my wife has to do a little straighten up at the porch. And when we come back, it will up to her. So I take photographs while I wait for her. I go on the street, I'm looking east toward the park, and I see a neighbor watering. I might add legally. Used to water we head south. I mean, through the neighborhood. When the 4th of July parade goes every year, my wife is a neighbor, lagging behind taking photographs. The back edge is being trimmed so we can walk. This is a street in our home, street, not a typical street. And it's quiet in the morning, as you see, with no one at the top of us. A huge Baptist church down the street, a couple blocks away. We run across mushrooms. I am very interested in mushrooms and all the shapes that they come. So they just come out of nowhere with the lives and then they disappear. The really ecological purposes, I should really like to see them. They're fragile but strong, which is like many people. So then we get back on the street and I like to see the hedges trimmed so we have room to walk. And I like to see people's yards like this cactus garden. And it's very large crotons here. I don't grow that large, but these are really big and very pretty. They're very plain. There's this magnolia tree which has all branches, and that's interesting. This is like a hanging tower back the way this neighborhood is going over the fence, and this is a stately southern mansion with oak trees and moss hanging. This oak tree interests me. It has a lot of character. Of course, we celebrate the sun, the political season. We're in a citrus area, and the yards still have citrus trees because we're used to be orange groves. Some branches also walk over the night with sports complexes everywhere. And playgrounds. It's just a small 17 city that we're in. The games should be played here in London. Nearby for children. We round the corner on our walk and continue walking. We'll go east, northeast. And this is an example of many of the Spanish architectural type homes. This one very much quaint and very eye-catching. We continue the street, which is a scrapyard and a flagpole here. Patriot citizen. We come to another tree line. So we're down the street headed east, and we're looking at the trees, all the branches, the grow. And I see someone else two papers like I used to. I couldn't ever read them all. Didn't have time. It's the fact that they grow away. Interested in the color and painted homes here. Moss trees. Very close to our home, there's a church which has bells at Sunday morning. It's a community church, which is really good for air, and a number of churches around. So we continue our walk, and we're walking down to a golf course, which is on the right, and always looking at the trees, and I have provided so much beauty for our area. So on the street we see a white picket fence on the right, home looking, of course, and we're rapidly now to golf is getting to start while the do grass, the championship golf course, and more trees along the sidewalk. Look like a group together as a family. Looking down the street to the west, we see more of the oak trees of the road, and then all of a sudden there's one long, very, very tall tree. And it is standing so straight and tall by itself. Near an English college, this is the yard, and English college, you can see where it's all been hatched. And this is just a very interesting home along this architecturally. This one. And here we have a small It's very close to my home, and whoever did a very excellent job to make types of plans on the walkway here. So we move on from here, and we see the home. The dog garden is right next to it. Well, same style home, two-story. And here, these things all the time. His life, it seems that he's at the always work. No parking in the park. I thought it was funny. And we have a beautiful apartment near our home where children come to play and parents come to be with them. And sometimes it's very large groups and they're having picnics and parties. This is on the street we live in West.